Coach, take me back to Friday. Everything looked like on paper. It was the kind of game you expected it to be. A nice, close ball game. You guys come out with a big win.
Yep, it was a big game. We were quite worried about it. Winchester, among many teams, very worthy opponent. And it was on the road. And our kids gutted it out, and we come out with a win. So I feel fortunate to have escaped Winchester with the win, and awful happy where we sit right now.
Well, we'll talk about that 3-0 in a moment. What was the key to that win on Friday night? You mentioned everybody stuck together and grinded that thing out.
Yeah, we controlled the ball a little bit better than they did. We had one turnover. They had a couple, but I think it mostly just came down to we were able to run maybe a little bit better than they were. And in the end, they'd hurt us with some passing before and earlier in the game. And in the end, our defensive secondary kind of tightened up, and we made some adjustments at halftime. We also scored on a halfback pass, which is a new thing. I mean, I don't know the last time that's happened. It's been quite a while. So that's one that they surely didn't see coming, and that came out. I mean, it ended up being just probably the game winner.
Doesn't it kind of show what you and I talked about earlier this year, that any given week in the TEC can be a real dogfight?
Yeah, I don't know that there is a weak sister this year. I think everybody has shown at times that they can, do some really good things. So, nope, there is no weeks off. Everybody is pretty even.
Coach, you're 3-0. Talk about and evaluate maybe a little bit through these first three games. I don't know how many people said, hey, Northeastern will be 3-0, but anytime you can get 3 wins out of the chute, you got to be happy.
Yeah, I mean, we knew Union County, if you take away their quarterback, which unfortunately happened, it made them, a little bit, brought them back to the pack. But we thought Union County was a front runner this year, and we were very concerned that they might, be able to handle us fairly easily, and that was a big win. We thought if we could, 2-1 was our goal out of these first 3 games, hoping we could beat one of those 2, Winchester and Union County. Not to take anything away from Tri, they played us tough too, but that was kind of the way we were looking at it.
Coach, your defense, we talk so much about offense, but your defense has played well, I think relatively well in those first 3 games.
They've played real well. Coach Oller's famous for his bend and not break defense. It's hard to watch sometimes because we give up some chunks in the middle of the field, but when they get down in the red zone, it gets kind of hard to score for most teams. And I give him credit for that. It's kind of a mindset that he's put into these kids' brains. But we're extremely pleased, especially considering the injuries we've had. Yeah.
So you don't get a little nervous over there when he's directing the defense at all?
No, he says bend, but don't. He says bend, but not break, Coach. I get the ball. I'm used to getting it down about the 10-yard line, and we just kind of joke about it. But hey, that's how we win, so that's fine.
No kidding. All right, Coach, this week talk about Lincoln, and I think they're getting better week by week. At least the scores are indicating that. Real close one for them this past week. What are you seeing Lincoln for this coming Friday night?
Lincoln always is a scary team to play because Phil does a good job with the passing game. Once again, they tend to always kind of be near the top of the league in passing. I haven't taken the time to look at the statistics this year, but I imagine they're up near there again. They just play hard. Lincoln kids play hard. They're tough. They're big this year. They've got a really big group of personnel, and we expect a dogfight. It'll it's going to come down, I think, to once again, who can make the plays in the second half. So it should be a good one.
They made a couple of changes in their backfield as well, where they ended up moving their leading rusher last year to the fullback position, the new halfback. So they've kind of changed things around back there, and even a different quarterback going into this season.
Yeah, we saw that on film, and we saw them once this summer, and he was doing a little bit of that then, and last week they ran the ball effectively against Tri, and but for an extra point they would have won that game. So I'm sure they're aching to get back at it and get a win, and they'd like to do it against us.
I got one more thing, and that is they talked about the beginning of the year, the one thing they want to be is very, very physical. I don't know if that's anything different that they've done in the past, but he said that's one thing they want to do different this year is come out, hit the other team in the mouth. Are you expecting them to be more physical Friday?
You know, I'm sure that they've said those things, and our boys say that too. But you know, it comes down to what happens on Friday night. And I've seen a lot of teams that I thought were very physical come out and not punch us in the mouth. I've seen some other. I mean, I don't feel like you can at this point of the season say what anybody is, but. They've always been physical. We've always struggled with them. I'm not saying they're not going to be. We've always struggled with them, and this won't be. They're bigger than us. Yeah. They're bigger than us, so we expect a battle.